I hate the fact that I'm doing these books out of order, but it's just as they show up. So as they're donated and I purchase them. Um, so there's a couple more coming down the pike if I can find them, if they show up. But everybody seems to be enjoying these so much, and I will try and put the clips at the end again. It takes a little maneuvering on my part. Anyway, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, K-O-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy schmancy stuff going on here. And this is book 3. We've done book 1 just the other day. And we did another one. I think we did 5, I think, maybe 5. But this is book 3. And it's a little, I had to tape it. I had to tape it here. People have a tendency to take the books off the shelf like that, and you really shouldn't. Push in all the other books on the shelf. If you have 2 books on the shelf like this, push this in and then take this one out like that. That way you're not hitting the jacket. And I may look for another copy anyway. It's a little on the yellow side. So if another copy comes through, I may get that one instead. But I do believe this is a first edition. It's also got the maps. Yeah. There we go. And I think this is a first edition. Oh, and it's split a little. 1985. I never should have given these up. I had really nice copies, but I did. So now I'm working on trying to get them back again. But like I said, I may, if a newer copy comes through, because this is a little on the yellow side. There's some stains. I don't know how well you can see them. But in this third and long-awaited novel in the acclaimed Earth children's series, Ayla, the independent heroine of the clan of the Cane Bear and Valley of Horses, sets out from the valley on Winnie the horse she tamed. With her is Jolonal, the tall, handsome, yellow-haired man she nursed back to health and came to love. Together they meet the Munati, the mammoth hunters, people like Ayla, but to Ayla, who was raised by the clan of the Cave Bear, they are the others. She approaches them with mixed feelings of fear and curiosity. And this book has lineage. Cave Bear. Trembling with fear, Alia clung to the tall man beside her as she watched the strangers approach. Jolonal put his arm around her protectively, but she still shook. He's so big, Alia thought, gaping at the man in the lead, the one with hair and the beard color of fire. She'd never seen anyone so big. He even made Jolonal seem small, though the man who held her towered over most men. The red-haired man coming toward them was more than tall. He was huge, a bear of a man. His neck bulged. His chest could have filled with 2 ordinary men. His massive biceps matched most men's thighs. Aya glanced at Jolonal and saw no fear in his face, but his smile was guarded. They were strangers, and in his long travels he had learned to be weary of strangers. I don't recall seeing you before, the big man said without preamble. What camp are you from? He did not speak Jolonal's language, Ayla noticed, but one of the others he'd been teaching her. No camp, Jolonal said. We are not Munati. He unclasped Ella and took a step forward, holding out both hands, palm up, showing he was hiding nothing in greeting of friendliness. I am Jolinor of Zelandoni. The hands were not accepted. Zelandoni, that's strange. Wait, weren't there two foreign men staying with those river people that live to the west? It seems to me I heard something like that. Yes, my brother and I live with them, Jolinor ceded. The man with the flaming beard looked thoughtful for a while, then unexpectedly he lunged for Jolinor, grabbed the tall blond man in a bone-crushing bear hug. Then we are related. Tholi is the daughter of my cousin. Joanna returned, a smile a little shaken. Tholi, a Mamuti woman called Tholi was my brother's crossmate. She taught me your language. Of course I told you, we are related. He grasped the hands that Joanna extended in friendship, which he had rejected before. I am Talmud, headman of the lion camp. Everyone was smiling. Alien noticed a grim beam at her, then eyed her appreciatively. I see you are not traveling with brother now, he said to Jelena. Jelena put his arm around her again, and she noticed a fleeting look of pain wrinkled his brow before he spoke. This is Ayla. It's an unusual name. Is she of the river people? Jelena was taken back by the abruptness of his questioning. Then remembering Tholi, he smiled inwardly. The short, stocky woman he knew bore little resemblance to the great hulk of a man standing there on the riverbank, but they were chipped from the same flint. They both had the same direct approach, the same unselfish, conscious, almost ingenious candor. He did not know what to say. Alla was not going to be easy to explain. No, she's been living in a valley some day's journey from here. Talmud looked puzzled. I have not heard of a woman with her name living nearby. Are you sure she's Manuti? I am sure she is not. Then who are her people? Only we who hunt mammoth live in this region. I have no people, Ayla says, lifting her chin with a touch of defiance. Talmud appraised her shrewdly. She had spoken the words in his tongue, but the quality of her voice and the way she made the sounds were strange. Not unpleasant, but unusual. Jolinor spoke with the accent of a language foreign to him. The difference in the way she spoke went beyond accent. Talmud's interest was piqued. Well, there is no place to talk, Talmud said. Nezzy will give me the mother's own wrath if I don't invite you to visit. Visitors always bring a little excitement. We haven't had visitors for a while. The lion camp welcomes you. Jolinor of Zendoni and Ayla of No People, will you come? What do you say, Ayla? Would you like to visit? Jolinor asked, switching to Zendoni so she could answer truthfully without fear of offending. Isn't it time you met your own kind? Isn't that what Isa told you to do? Find your own people? He didn't want to seem too eager, but after so long without anyone else to talk to, he was anxious to visit. I don't know, she said, frowning with indecision. What will they think of me? He wanted to know who my people were. I don't have any people anymore. What will they like me? They will like you, Ayla, believe me. I know they will. Talmud invited you, didn't he? It didn't matter to him that you have no people. Besides, you never know if they will accept you or if you will like them. If you don't give them a chance. These are the kind of people you should have grown up with, you know. We don't have to stay long. We can leave any time. We can leave any time? Of course. Ayla looked down at the ground, trying to make up her mind. She wanted to go with them. She felt an attraction to these people and a curiosity to know more about them. But she felt a tight knot of fear in her stomach. She glanced up and saw two shaggy, steep horses grazing on the rich grass of the plain near the river, and her fear intensified. What about Winnie? What will we do with her? What if they want to kill her? I can't let anyone hurt Winnie. Jolinor hadn't thought about Winnie. What would they think, he wondered. I don't know what they will do, Ayla, but I don't think they will kill her. If we tell them she's special and not meant for food. He remembered his surprise, his initial feeling of awe over Ayla's relationship with the horse. It would be interesting to see their reaction. I have an idea. Talmud did not understand what Ayla and Joanna said to each other, but he knew the woman was reluctant. No. Anyway. Talmud did not understand what Ayla and Joanna said to each other, but he knew the woman was elected and the man was trying to coax her. He also noticed the language she spoke with the same unusual accent, even in his own language, his language, the headman realized, not hers. What are you doing? Smokey, if my computer moves, it's because my cat is rubbing against it. Um, Was she Manuti, he wondered, with growing apprehension, one with special powers? Many of those who served the mother claimed magic to call animals and direct the hunt, but he had never seen anyone with such control over animals that they would come at her signal. She had a unique talent. It was a little frightening, but think how much a camp could benefit from such a talent as hers. Kills could be so easy. I don't want kills to be easy. I don't want kills to be easy at all. I don't want kills to be easy. No, 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 no. No kills. No killing. No killing. No. My St. Patrick's Day decoration. No, child. Ayla had seen the shocked surprise on the faces of the small band of people, and if Jonah had not been waiting for her, she would have kept on going right back to her valley. She'd had enough of disapproval during her young years for actions that were not acceptable, although enough freedom since while she was living alone, not to want to subject herself to criticism for following her own inclination. She was ready to tell Jonah he could visit these people if he wanted. She was going back. Ayla of no people, he said, not sure if it was a proper way to address her, though for this woman of uncanny talent it might be. Jonah says you fear harm will come to these horses if you visit with us. I say here, as long as Talmud is head of the lion camp, no harm will come to that mare or her young one. I would like you to visit, bring horses. No one will believe us otherwise. She was feeling more relaxed about it now and knew Jonah wanted to visit. She had no real reason to refuse, and she was drawn to easily friendly laughter of the huge red-haired man. Yes, I come. Talmud nodded, smiling, and wondered about her, intriguing her accent way with horses. Who was Ayla of no people? Suddenly, a deep emotional level it struck her. It was not a cave, and these people were not clan. They did not look like Izza, who was the only mother she remembered, or Caleb or Broom. A short and muscular with large eyes shadowed by heavy brows ridges, a forehead that sloped back, and a chinless jaw that jutted forward. These people looked like her. They were like the ones she'd been born to. Her mother, her real mother, must have looked like one of these women. These were the others. This was their place. The realization brought rush of excitement and a tingle of tears. Talmud, what have you brought us this time? Where did you get those horses? What did you do to them? Suddenly, someone addressed Ayla. How do you make them stay? What camp are they from, Talmud? The noisy, gregarious people crowded forward, eager to see and touch both the people and horses. Ayla was overwhelmed, confused. She wasn't used to so many people. She wasn't used to people talking, particularly all of them at once. Whitney was sidestepping, flicking her ears, her head high, Ned arched, trying to protect her frightened colt, shy away from the people closing in. Jola could see Ayla's confusion and the nervousness of the horses, but he couldn't make Talmud or the rest of the people understand. The mare was sweating, swishing her tail, dancing in circles. Suddenly she could stand it no longer. She reared up, gnawing fear, and lashed out with hard hoofs, driving the people back. Whitney's distress focused Ayla's attention. She gestured her name with a sound like a company nicker and signaled with gestures she had to communicate what Jonah had taught her to speak. Talmud, no one must touch the horses unless Ayla allows it. Only she can control them. They are gentle, but the mare can be dangerous if she's provoked or feels her colt is threatened. Someone should get hurt. Stay back. You heard him. Stay back. Talmud understood and moved the people of the clan, talking to each one. They dispersed, turning to other tasks, preparing food, working on hides or tools, so they could watch without being so obvious about it. They were uneasy too. Strangers were interesting, but a woman with compelling magic might do something unexpected. Only a few children stayed to watch with avid interest while the man and woman unpacked. But Ayla didn't mind them. She hadn't seen children in years, not since she left the clan, and was curious about them as they were about her. She took off the harness and Racer's halter, then patted and stroked Winnie the racer. After giving the colt a good scratching and affectionate hug, she looked up to see Laddie staring at the young animal with longing. You like horse? You can touch. Could I? Come, give me a hand, I show. She took Laddie's hand and held it to the shaggy coat of the half-grown horse. Racer turned his head to sniff and nuzzle the girl. He likes me. He likes scratch too, like this, and she scratches in Colt's special places. Racer was delighted with the attention and showed it. Laddie was beside herself with joy. The colt was attracted to her from the beginning. Ayla turned back on the two to help Jonah and didn't notice another child approach. When she turned around, she gasped and felt the blood drain from her face. Is it all right if Rydag touches the horses? He can't talk, but I know he wants to. Jonah, that child, he could be my son. He looks like Dirk. He turned and opened eyes in surprise. It was a child of mixed spirits. Flatheads, the ones Ayla always referred to as clan, were animals to most people, and children like this were thought of by many as abominations, half animal, half human. He had been shocked when he first understood that Ayla had given birth to a mixed son. The mother of a child was usually a pariah, cast out for fear she would draw the evil animal spirit again and cause another woman to birth such an abomination. Some people didn't even want to admit they existed, and to find one here living with people was more than unexpected. It was a shock. Where did the boy come from? Ayla and the child were gazing at each other, obvious to those around them. He was thin for one who was half-clan, Ayla thought. They are usually big-boned and muscular. Even Durek wasn't this thin. He's sickly, Ayla trained medicine woman's eye told her. A problem since birth with the strong muscle in his chest that pulsed and throbbed and made the blood move, she guessed. But those facts she stored without thinking. She looked closely at his face, his head, for the similarities and the differences between this child and her son. She made a sign to the boy, a simple gesture, one of the first she learned long ago. There was a moment of excitement in his eyes, and he shook his head. He looked puzzled. He had never learned the clan way of speaking with gestures, she realized, but he must have retained some of the vestiges of clan memories. He had recognized the signal for an instant, she was sure of it. Can Rydick touch the horses? Little asked again. Yes, Ayla said. He is so slight, so frail, she thought, and understood the rest. He could not run like other children. He could not play rough and tumble games. He could only watch and wish. With a tenderness of feeling Jonah had never seen on her face before, Ayla picked the boy up and put him on Winnie's back. Signaling the horses to follow, she walked them slowly around the camp. There was a lull in conversation as everyone stopped to stare at Rydag sitting on the horse, though they had been talking about it except for Talmud and the people who had met them by the river. No one had ever seen anyone ride a horse before. No one had ever thought of such a thing. A large motherly woman emerged from the strange dwelling and seeing Rydick on the horse, which had kicked perilously close to her head. Her first reaction was to rush to his aid, but as she neared, she became aware of the silent drama of the scene. The child's face was filled with wonder and delight. How many times had he watched with wishful eyes, prevented by his illness or his difference, for doing what other children did? How many times did he wish he could do something to be admired or envied for? Now, for the first time, he sat on the back of a horse. All the children of the camp and the adults were watching him with wishful eyes. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Where am I? Come here, come here, come here. Come say hi. I'm trying to read a book. You want to read with me? We're supposed to get some snow today. Bye. We shall see. Put a little kid on a horse. Oh, they love to go for horsey rides. They love to go for horsey rides. Alma grinned, showing Renis's tendency to turn praise of his carving skill with a quip. It didn't stop Talma from bragging, however. Would you stop? Um, Ayla watched the subtle interaction of the two men, the older massive giant with flaming red hair and pale blue eyes, the other with dark and compact. They walked toward the archway Ayla had noticed earlier. It seemed open into a hill lock or perhaps a series of them. Tucked into the slope, they faced the large river, and Ayla had seen people enter and leave. She knew it must be a cave or a dwelling of some kind, but one which seemed to be entirely of dirt, hard packed, but with grass growing in patches out of it, particularly the bottom and up the sides. It blended with the background so well, except for the entrance, it was hard to distinguish the dwelling from its surroundings. On closer inspection, she noticed the rounded top of the mound was the repository of several curious implements and objects. Then she saw a particular one just above the archway and caught her breath. It was the skull of a cave lion. Ayla was hiding in a tiny cleft of sheer rock wall, watching a huge cave lion's claw reach in to get her. She screamed in pain and fear when it found her bare thigh and raked it with 4 parallel gashes. The spirit of the cave lion himself had chosen her and caused her to be marked to show he was her totem. Kreb had caused her Kreb had explained, after testing far beyond that which even man had to endure. Though she had been a girl of only 5 years, the sensation of quivering earth between her feet brought a rush of nausea. She shook her head to dispel the vivid memory. What's wrong, Ayla? I saw that skull, and I remembered when I was chosen, when the cave lion became my totem. We are the lion camp, Talton noticed with pride. He said it before. He didn't understand when they spoke Jelena's language, but he saw the interest they were showing in the camp's talisman. The cave lion holds strong meaning for Ella, Jelena explains. She says the spirit of the great cat guides her and protects her. Then you should be comfortable here, Talmud says, beaming a smile at her. So we do another little bit. We read quite a bit of chapter 1. Shall we read another chapter or another page or two before it gets too late here? Ayla spent time in the afternoon rubbing down and currying Winnie with a soft piece of leather and the dried spiny head of a teasel. It was as relaxing for her as it was for the horse. Jelena worked companionably beside her, using a teasel on Raisel to soothe its itchy places. When he soothed the cold, shaggy winter coat, though the young animal wanted to play more than stand still. Raisel's warm and soft inner layer had grown in much thicker, reminding the man how soon the cold winter would be upon them. It's upon us now. Let's do another couple. Let's see. The camp was in an uproar. Even if some might have agreed with him, Frederick had gone too far. He had overstepped the bounds of curiosity to visitors, and even insulted the headman's mate. But it had long been an embarrassment to him that he belonged to the camp that had taken in the abomination of mixed races, and he was still chafing under the barbs of Fraley's mother in the most recent round of their long-standing battle. He wanted to take out his irritation on someone. Talmud roared to the defense of Nezzy and Ayla. Tully was quick to defend the honor of the camp. Crosy, smiling maliciously, was alternately haranguing Ferrick and browbeating Fraley, and the others were voicing their opinions loudly. Ayla looked from one to another, wanting to put her hands over her ears to shut out the noise. Suddenly, Talmud boomed a shout for silence. It was loud enough to startle everyone into quiet. I was thinking before anyone else says anything, we ought to hear what Ayla has to say. I do not remember young life, Ayla said. Only earthquake and cave lion who make scars on my leg. Izza tells me she find me by river. What is word? Mammut, not awake, unconscious. Izzy find me by river, unconscious. I was close to age of Rydag younger, maybe 5 years. I am hurt on leg from cave lion claw. Izza is medicine woman. She heal my leg. Craig is Craig Mogar, like Mammoth, holy man. No spirit world. Craig teach me to speak clan way. Izzy and Crab all clan, they take care of me. I am not clan, but they take care of me. Ayla was straining to recall everything Joanna had told her about their language. She hadn't liked Fabi's comment that she couldn't talk right, any more than the rest of what he said. She glanced at Joanna. His forehead was furrowed. He wanted her to be careful of something. She wasn't entirely sure of the reason for his concern, but perhaps it was not necessary to mention everything. I grow up with clan, but leave to find others like me. I am 14 years then. Isa tell me others live north. I look long time, not find anyone. Then I find a valley and stay to make ready for winter. Kill horse for meat, then see small horse, her baby. I have no people, young horses like baby. I take care of young horse. Later find young lion. Hurt take lion too, but he grow up, leave, find mate. I live in valley 3 years, then Jolinar come. Ayla stopped. No one spoke. Her explanation, so simply told, with no embellishments, could only be true. Yet it was difficult to believe. It posed more questions than it answered. Could she really have been taken in and raised by flatheads? Could they really talk, or at least communicate? Could they really be so human? So human, what about her? If she was raised by them, was she human? In the silence that followed, Ayla watched Nizzy and the boy, and then remembered an incident early in life with the clan. Kreb had been teaching her to communicate with her hand signs. There was one gesture she learned herself. It was a signal shown often to babies, and always used by children to the woman who took care of them. She recalled how Isa had felt when she made the first signal to her. Ayla leaned toward Vag and said, I want show you word you say with hands. He stood up, his eyes showing interest and excitement. He had understood, he always did. Every word she said, and the talk about hand signs had caused vague stirrings within him. With everyone watching, she made a gesture, purposeful movement with her hands. He attempted to copy her, frowned with puzzlement. He say to you, mother. Mother. This is father. Son. Daughter. And then like brother. Sister. Father's the head of the family. Uncle. Mother's down here. Aunt's down here. Daughter's down here. Hi. Universal sign everywhere. If you go anywhere in the world, regardless of what language you speak, hi works. And he calls his mother mother for the first time. Have you had enough? Should we read some more? We'll see what book shows up next. I don't know. We'll see if it shows up. I have no clue what's coming. I have no clue what's going to show up in the shop. So, we were on sale this week too, which was cool. Have a good one. Don't forget to check out Star Trek Next Generation on Fridays, if then Fridays afternoon. We get a little carried away at St. Patrick's Day this month. And don't forget Flashback Mondays, where we talk about all the books in my favorite magazine, Romantic Times Book Review. Maybe you'll get a new author. Hope you enjoy the Mammoth Hunters. Watch for the video. Thanks, bye. In all of your readings, and I hope you have a good day. Have a good one, and stay tuned for the montage if I can find it. Fingers crossed. Have a good one.